Hello and welcome to another episode of Fanatical About Fiction. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, sorry I haven't posted in a while, guys. It's been a while and I have been busy, but I've also been quite lazy. And I've tried posting a few videos, but my camera's been playing up. And I know it's not really an excuse, but I'm trying a new style on this camera now. And I've got a new editing software, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be a bit more productive and get a few more videos out to you. So this week and last week is John Green week on Fanatical About Fiction, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Fault in Our Stars. So I know that probably about 90% of you out there have already heard of this book, and probably about 70% have already read the book. But for those of you who don't know, this is the story of Hazel Grace and her life with cancer, and it's got romance, comedy and just life in it, for want of a better word. If you haven't read this book yet, then who are you? And get to your nearest bookstore now. It's fantastic and I guarantee you will love it. The reason I like The Fault in Our Stars so much is because it's so true to life. The characters in here are 100% believable, and I fell in love with them in about the first 30 pages. It was that well written. This book is probably the biggest young adult book that's been released this year, and I think there's a very good reason for that, because this book is so well written. You really feel a connection to each of the characters in this book, and you can feel as if they just fit perfectly into your life, because they do represent teenagers very well and they are very relatable. I think everybody knows John Green is a good writer after Looking for Alaska, but with this book I think he steps up a peg and he really becomes a fantastic writer. I pretty much loved everything about this book. I loved the setting, I loved the plot, I loved the characters, I loved the writing style, and most of all I loved the quotes. My favourite quotes of this book, I have put little marks in to show, and there are quite a lot of marks for quotes I love, but at the end I've kind of left it a bit blank because I kind of was overwhelmed with emotion and was too addicted to reading it the second time to actually put the notes in, which says something when the second time you're reading a book you get just as addicted as you did the first time, and it had just as much an effect on me the second time as it did the first time. I think I will read it again, most definitely, and probably by the end of the year. To show you how good the writing style in this book is, I've decided to read a quote to you guys. So, without further ado, here it goes. There was a time before organisms experience consciousness, and there will be a time after. And if the inevitability of human oblivion worries you, I encourage you to ignore it. God knows that's what everybody else does. And that really sums up why this book is special, because it's a teenage book, but it's not afraid to delve into the big questions out there and get answers for teenagers, because it's this stage of our life when we're asking the questions most, and most of the books out there, they ignore the fact that we want answers and guidance in making our beliefs, and it's hard to find a book out there that really gives you a clever answer, but at the same time one that you feel you can relate to and accept and adapt to your own beliefs. Basically, I really love this book. If you haven't read it, please do, and leave a comment saying how much you love it if you already love it. If you don't love it, just read it again for the writing style and the quotes and see if you can relate to anything, because even if you don't like the story of this book, I think there is something in here for everyone, and you don't have to love it, but you can just read it to see how clever it is. And I love that it's a young adult book, but the maturity of the content makes it just as much an adult book, and it's something I think that doesn't really have age boundaries. so everyone can enjoy it, and you can lend it out to as many friends as you like and discuss it like I have with my friends, because it's that good. You can't just read it and go, oh right, that was a good book. You have to discuss every single element and every single page, because it's just something that's touched you so much when you read it. If you, like me, loved this book and really want to share your love for this book around, leave a comment down below on why watchers of this video should read it, and tell me your favourite quote, because I'd love to hear everybody's opinion, and tell me what that quote meant to you. So that was my review on The Fault in Our Stars. I hope it made sense, because I think I've just babbled for about 4 minutes or so, however long this video turns out. So I picked up a copy of An Abundance of Catherine's the other day, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And if you've read it, could you leave me a comment down below on your thoughts of it? I'd love to discuss it with you once I'm done.